What's happening, everybody? Jay Shockblast here, and man, oh man, information just absolute overload for Lego Marvel's Avengers. I think a lot of people have been hitting me up, asking me what I think, asking me when I'm going to make a video, and here we are. We're doing the thing, and I don't know. I don't really know what to say. I think a lot of people are probably surprised that I'm not already waxing poetic, but I think that's for other people to do. Me, I think I'm a little bit more guarded about everything that I've seen because I'm not as happy with the direction as most other people. Now, I want to preface everything that I say by saying that, criticism is not a negative always, like by criticizing or not waxing poetic about, something that's happening in the development of this game doesn't mean I think that the company TT Games is doing a bad job or that they're horrible or anything like that. Apparently there are some simpletons out there that think it's disrespectful to say anything but positive stuff about this game, and or if I say anything negative, that I'm being disrespectful. And I want to like clear the air on that right away because I'm not going to stand for it. I love TT Games, I love Marvel Comics, but if they're making poor decisions or decisions I don't like, or if there's stuff that I don't get, then I'm gonna call them on it. And that is how change happens. And I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I'm important enough to drive that change. But whatever voice I do have, I want to use it, and I want to do it so that fans get what they want, and that fans are hurt. It's not intended as disrespect, no matter how harsh my words may be. It's I'm real, okay? I'm not gonna put on a show. I'm not here to to suck up to anybody. Like it's not gonna get me anywhere or anything anyway. Like I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in being an insider. I'm not like I play these games to have fun. I know what I want, and I know what I expect, and I know when I'm being sold a line of BS, and I know when people are making poor decisions, and I'm gonna call them on it. Now, I'd like this video to be, fairly, positive. I don't want to start off completely negative, but I'm not as thrilled as everybody else is. And I feel like I have a right to feel that way. And if you disagree, that's fine. But I have every right to be, frustrated as I am. So I want to start off by saying, if you're expecting me to go on and on about Deadpool and Spider-Man, who, by the way, are still MIA and likely to continue to be so, I'm going to make a separate video for that because I do have lots to say about that still as time goes on. But let's focus on what has been announced. Like I said, information overload here. There's been just a ton and tons and tons of information. Like this guy right here, Hulk. No longer do you have to be subjected to these measly, feeble bounces. Now you can hold down the A button or the X button on the PS4, or whatever button you have that makes you jump, and he will leap and soar and grab onto buildings and climb up buildings that way. And it's awesome, and it's a great feature. I think a lot of people are going to be really excited. As it stands now, Hulky no powerful as he should be. He's not the best there is right now. So looking forward to Hulk smashes. That was one thing that kind of stuck out to me right away. I think a lot of people are pretty jacked and pumped about that. The game does look gorgeous. I am excited. Like, even though I'm going to be very critical of some of the things here, don't confuse that for me not being happy or excited for the game. I love Lego games. I have every single one except Harry Potter. I'm a grown-ass man. I would never do that to myself. But like, and not only do I have every game, I have the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Xbox One, and PS4 version of this game here. I have Lego Batman 2 and 3 on, all four. And actually, no, Lego Batman 3 I only have on PS4 and Xbox One. But Lego Batman 2 I have on, oh, jeez. I hate it when it does that. I gotta turn the Kinect off from time to time. Anyway, I have like multiple copies of a lot of games because I'm a collector and I know what I love, and I do love these games. So I understand that our whole purpose here is, Marvel's Avengers. So we're trying to tie in characters that have something to do with the Avengers in some way, shape, or form, which I will digress from mentioning the two egregious omissions thus far, because I'm going to do that in another video. But, we're seeing lots of movie versions of the characters start to get unveiled. We're seeing people, like smaller role people, like, check out the plastic surgery. You got Armin Zola, you've got Eric Selvig, and you've got I'm going through this little chart here. Maria Hill, obviously, I think she was in this one too. Jane Foster. You've got Fandral, which is kind of cool. You've got what's her face? Dr. Helen Cho from Age of Ultron. You've got Bucky. You've got Brock Rumlow, even though Crossbones is in it. Would have been nice if they could have shared a slot where you could have just held down Y and switch to him, but alas, not meant to be. You've got, where's the little boy? There's a boy from Iron Man 3. I can't think of his name. I know I saw him. But, you've got him. You got Pepper Potts. So, I mean, we're starting to see all these characters start to pop up here. Then you've got your kind of sort of loosely associated with the Avengers or enemies of the Avengers that are starting to pop up. And I think this is where my frustration level comes in, because there are some cheesy characters that are being announced. And I mean, look, I understand that it's an initiative between both Marvel and TT Games. Maybe Marvel wants to elevate the status of some of these characters by having them in the game and having them be more visible. But for some of these characters, it doesn't make sense, because they're a lot like they're really pulling from the initiative. Like back when there was the Dark Avengers, when Norman Osborn was running Shield and all that stuff, and he had his Dark Avengers. So you've got characters like Cloud9 and Trauma, and who else do we got up here? I wish I just had them all written out, but like there's characters that kind of come from that kind of storyline, and Trauma's, I'm not gonna lie, Trauma actually interests me, because he's very dark and he can, I'm interested to see if he's kind of like uses the Green Lantern type powers where he draws up like constructs and whatever. So that could be interesting. But like, I don't know, some of these other characters, Dr. List. I mean, I don't know if that, I don't even remember a Dr. List. I'm assuming that's from one of the movies. Diamondback, Count Nefaria. I mean, awful. X-Ray. I don't know who Vale is. I don't remember that one. Spitfire. Like, I mean, we're starting to dip to the bottom level of characters that, or even somebody like me doesn't know who they are. I mean, we're kind of, I don't know what the point is, like Firebird, Gorilla Girl. I mean, these are all uninteresting characters to me. To me, Like Gorilla Girl and Devil Dinosaur, like that's to reuse assets that you already have. And, you know, more power to them for doing that. But I mean, I don't know. No, I'll take that back about Devil Dinosaur. I know that they are trying to, you know, bring that character back with Moon Girl, I think, even though Moon Boy is the one in here. So, I mean, there's just some... I don't know. There's still a lot of characters left to announce, so I'm really just hoping, you know, that they're just announcing different characters that haven't been in the game before and not necessarily the most popular. You know, they're mixing in some popular with some just kind of smaller, low-key characters, and I get it. I mean, it's a huge list, and just with such a huge list, I just don't understand why they don't make room for the 2 characters that I'm not going to mention. You know, like, I'm counting the spots between Dark Elf and Detroit Steel, and there's 3 spots open, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, okay, well, that's where Mr. D would slide in, but I'm thinking one of them is going to be Destroyer. I'm thinking another one could be Deathlock or Deathlocket. Hopefully, I mean, Destroyer makes sense. Deathlock makes sense too. It's a pretty big character that they're pushing, I think. Marvel, that is. So I'm also hopeful that, because Darkhawk is like, other than Deadpool, the #1 character I want in the game is Darkhawk, and there's 3 slots open in between Dark Elf and Detroit Steel, and it blows my mind. I will be probably more frustrated if Darkhawk doesn't make it in this game than Deadpool, because, like, to me, Darkhawk is everything you would want in a character for this game. He looks awesome. He's interesting. He's just, I don't know. Like, I can't imagine a reason why they would leave Darkhawk out. You know, he was in Avengers Academy. He's been involved with the Avengers. You know, I feel like he should be in there. Now, some people are mentioning Chase Stein as being one of these characters that's on the grid. And I know that in Avengers Academy, he put on the Darkhawk armor for like a minute. But I sincerely hope that that is not their way of saying Darkhawk is in this game, because Chris Powell is Darkhawk. And, you know, again, just I worry about these things because, you know, I play these games to have fun. And I'm just seeing, you know, lists and lists of characters that I have no interest in, you know. And I know this game isn't made just for me, so I'm not trying to sit here and pretend like, you know, everything should cater to me, but, you know, when a character like Darkhawk is in your lap, I mean, you kind of have to make it go. If Marvel Comics is going to approve Cloud9 and Butterball, I'm sure they're going to be okay with Darkhawk. You know, I understand the way that it works. You know, they say, hey, we want this character. They say, hey, go ahead. You know, there's some fight in it too. You know, you pick your battles. I get it, but I'm gonna get into that a little bit more in the Deadpool and Spider-Man video I'm gonna make next. But you know, lots of other characters. I mean, the open world looks awesome. I mean, they're doing the whole hub world thing again, but there is a big open New York City, which is basically, I don't want to say a clone of this New York City that's updated, but it probably will be pretty close, which is completely fine with me, because I think everybody, you know, the big argument a lot of people had, you know, or big problem a lot of people had with Lego Batman 3 was the hub worlds. They were devoid and uninteresting. I mean, they were pretty, don't get me wrong, but they were a huge letdown. Let's just call it what it is. I mean, I love the game, but, you know, what you do after you're done with the story was not as interesting as this game, we'll say. And I think they definitely improved upon it a little bit with Lego Jurassic World, but even those hub worlds were a little too small for my liking and a little lacking. I really miss this. This was the ultimate. So, as far as I'm concerned, we've already won with this game because this open world New York City is back. And for me, that's great. I don't want those round worlds anymore. I want everything to be kind of, this flat level, you know, run around kind of thing. The one thing I would love if they could do is if they had like a camera mode, like where you could, you know, press B or something. I don't know. Press a button and go into camera mode and actually take, like, there's Hulk selfies. So if you could actually take, pictures, and I could, like, screenshot, like this, I just saved that screenshot. But I want the camera to be a little bit more centered, because, like, this screenshot is cool and everything, but if I could get him front and center, that would be awesome. And with both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, having that, I think that's one of the big things that I am interested in. Personally, I know I'm not everybody, but I feel like there's some cool things you could do there. I like being able to get this close to the characters. I definitely like doing it for my own purposes with, thumbnails for videos. So, I don't know, we'll see. This guy hasn't been announced yet, Ant-Man, but I'm sure he'll find his way in there somewhere. I'm probably going to miss a few characters that have kind of shown up, but, I know Wasp was announced, so I can't imagine that, Ant-Man's not. I know that, Ant-Man isn't in the actual, movie levels or anything, but, he should be in the... I'm sure he'll be in the game at some point. And, the other thing to kind of consider when I'm talking about this character grid I'm looking at, which you can go to Lego Marvel Fans on Twitter. They're doing a good job of keeping up with all that stuff. That grid could change too, so they can slide more characters in. It is a pretty huge grid when you compare it to this one right here. I mean, I'm looking at the grid now. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 across the top. This one, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. All right, so it's 20 across the top. So it's the same. So yeah, they say there's going to be over 200 characters. Maybe this grid looks almost similar. I don't know, but it's definitely there's a lot of opportunity to add some more characters, and I'm hoping that they do. I mean, they have Black Panther locked in this grid, but Black Goliath, Beta Ray Bill, Batroc the Leaper, obviously from the movies. You've got an Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. A-Bomb is back in the game. You've got Butterball, which big thumbs down. You've got Captain Britain, but not this Captain Britain. It's like the more, I don't know, like he's got his hair showing and everything, so it's the more famous old school Captain Britain, I guess. You got Captain Universe, no Captain Planet though. He's our hero still. You've got the Collector, Cottonmouth, Count Nefaria, which is garbage. You've got Daredevil, obviously the Netflix versions of the characters. Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist. They are not going to be in this. They're definitely keeping it a little more kid friendly. Not that I really understand where they're coming from, because it's Jessica Jones or it's not Jessica Jones. Like, does the fact that it's the comic book Jewel version of Jessica Jones really not make people or kids say, who's Jessica Jones, if they don't know? I mean, to me, it really doesn't matter, but I don't have kids, so I guess that's not for me to judge. Maybe I'm wrong. I will willingly admit that I could be wrong on that one, but anyway, you got Dum Dum Dugan. Looks like it's going to be the movie version. You've got Egghead, which is awful. Fandral, which I'm excited for. I'm sure you'll have the other Warriors 3 Volstags there. I'm sure Sif is there. Thor Girl is one of those other initiative type characters. It seems like that's one that I don't get because you do have She-Thor, Jane Foster, and then you have regular Thor. So I don't know why we would throw Thor Girl in there. I'd much rather Angela. But that's me. Since we're throwing Asgardians in there, you've got Korvac, you got Kate Bishop Hawkeye, which is really cool. I think a lot of people are going to be excited about that. I'm not really a big fan of Kate Bishop or anything, but I do understand the intrigue. You got Iron Man Igor, Ironmonger. You got some Iron Legions. You got Jack of Hearts, which is, I guess, aesthetically a cool character, so I'll give him that one, but I don't know. Korvac, you got Lorelei, which is obviously, an Asgardian character. You've got Sam Alexander Nova, which I'll just accept it and just claim it's Rich Rider. So I'm glad. I can't believe I'm saying I'm glad he's back in the game. Oh man. You've got Lou Ferrigno, which, all right, cool, whatever. I'm not, Lou Ferrigno. I get it. It's a video game. It's a kids game. It makes sense. Okay, I'm okay with that. What else we got? We've got a different version, the movie version of Curse, which we also have here. So, probably just a cleaned up, cooler looking Curse, but maybe not. I don't know. You got Moon Boy, who I mentioned before. You've got the Red Skulls in it, obviously. You've got Mighty Destroyer. Yeah. I mean, that's going the Wayback Machine. Again, aesthetically pleasing character. They probably need some bad guys. Whatevs. The Other. That's pretty cool, I guess. So you got The Other. You got Pepper Potts, and Pepper Potts has her own Mark 42, probably from the movie Ragnarok, which, again, Thor, initiative kind of era, stuff there. Ravage, who I'm assuming is part of, Hulk, Agents of Hulk or whatever. You got Red Hulk is back, which is great. Rescue again. You've got the Sentry, which we've talked about. Spitfire, Scar, Speed, Swordsman, which I believe the Swordsman was the trainer of Hawkeye. He was. I mean, there's been different versions of the Swordsman. He was part of the whole Dark Avengers thing at one point, or the Initiative, I should say. Part of the whole Norman Osborn thing during Civil War, or after Civil War, I should say. After Secret Invasion, more likely, actually. So, it's interesting. Really excited to see Taskmaster back in the game. Thanos, of course. And I mentioned Trauma earlier, which is pretty cool. Wendigo. All right, whatever. I mean, it makes sense. You gotta have your big figs in, and Wendigo makes some sense. Wasp and Valkyrie. So lots of Asgardian characters, because Asgard is one of the hub world levels, along with South Africa and Sokovia, Washington D.C., Malibu, Hawkeye's farm. So there's a lot of different open world areas. There's gonna be a lot of vehicles. I know Thanos' helicopter is gonna be in it. I think Moon Knight, I don't know if I mentioned that Moon Knight is back in the game, which I'm very excited about. Moon Knight's special jet helicopter, whatever is in the game. So pretty cool. Vehicles tended to be fairly useless in these games, but I'm just hoping that there's, obviously we're gonna have New York City, so they'll be maybe a little bit more useful in in this game, in Lego Marvel's Avengers, than they were, especially like Batman, Lego Batman 3. So, um, you know, there's lots of characters left to go. So I'm being hopeful. I'm not trying to be too negative. I just look at that list right now, and it's missing so many possibilities of really big characters. And I realize that Darkhawk is not a big character, and it's really more or less just a selfish kind of thing. I mean, but he's such a awesome looking character, and I guarantee you that if he was in the game, just with his abilities, he could turn into a big figure if he really wanted to. You know, since he kind of figured out how his armor worked and everything, and he can, like, you know, transform it and whatnot. Like, I just feel like that would be a really great character. You know, I'd love to see him in the game. I feel like there's a lot of, I think this list is devoid of some of the bad guys, if you will. And obviously they're trying to leave out a lot of the Spider-Man related characters. Now, I'm gonna mention this in my new Deadpool Spider-Man video, but like, where's Miles Morales? Where is Spider-Gwen? Like, these are all characters that are high-profile characters, and you know, by leaving them out, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. I feel like there's a lot of the newer characters, like the newer Avenger characters, that are missing here. It's only like a month and a half before the game comes out, so I would imagine that there's some final stuff that should be there, but we're kind of getting close to that point where it's like, hey, we got to print the game now. I did not mean to pick him because, you know, depression. So there's so much great things, and again, I understand how hard, you know, the folks at TT work. I understand all that, but you know, I guess I'm not where I was with the other games right now. I feel like, I don't know what it is. I feel like there's stuff missing for me. I'm excited for the game because I know they make amazing games, and I know I'm going to enjoy them, regardless of what characters are in the game or not in the game. I just know who I want to play with, and you know, just I think that's part of the reason. I think every day that goes by that some of the characters that they're claiming are not going to be in the game are not announced for the game, I just become a little bit more bitter, and that's obviously a personal issue. But I just know that, you know, they're missing some great opportunity, and I don't care whose decision it is. If it's TT's or Marvel's, you know, those two guys need to be in it. I'll make a whole video about that. I got to work here shortly, so I don't know if I'll be able to get that up before the end of the day, or here in the next hour or so. So if you don't see another video come up in the next hour, it'll be up later tonight. Oh, one other thing that was a little curious to me as I'm kind of flipping through here, you have Miss Marvel Carol Danvers and Miss Marvel Kamala Khan. Why not just Captain Marvel? Why do we need Miss Marvel Carol Danvers? Like, she hasn't been that in a while. So why not Captain Marvel? I mean, they've got Sam Wilson, Captain America. They've got Jane Foster, Thor. So I'm just a little confused as to what's going on with Miss Marvel Carol Danvers, and why no Captain Marvel, and why no Miles Morales, and why no Angela, and maybe those are the characters that are coming, and I just need to be patient, but sometimes I'm not, and I guess that's my problem. But anyway, I'd love to know what you guys think. You guys are probably expecting me to be way more excited, and again, I just need to emphasize I am excited for the game. January 26th, that cannot come fast enough. There was some DLC that was announced as well, or uncovered, maybe not announced, but it's out there. With Best Buy, I think you get like a Thunderbolt pack, and it has Citizen V and a couple other characters that it's all blurry. And then there is an Avengers Adventurer pack, uh, which it shows a picture of Captain America with like a snorkel. And if it's just a bunch of stuff like that, I hope that's not counting as far as like a season pass. I hope those are just like the pre-orders, DLCs, and I've got some great ideas for the season pass, and I will actually mention those in my Deadpool and Spider-Man video, because it involves both of those characters. Where I want to make TT some money. Like I know they're gonna make it anyway, but not everybody buys the season pass, and yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get that other video up and have it not be 31 minutes. But anyway, I'd love to know what you guys think. I'm I'm happy that the game is coming out. I'm hopeful that the 40 to 50 other characters that are coming are going to be the ones that I'm waiting for. Um, and we'll just go from there. So I hope y'all enjoyed one more time, and later.